Here we go. It's about to get serious. Hey everybody, what's happening? Lex here. You know when I'm sitting on the couch, it's about to get serious. First of all, I would just like to say thank you all so much for 800,000 subscribers. It's absolutely bonkers that I'm in this position right now, that 800,000 of you, which is just a mind-blowingly huge number to me, that you guys are here with me on this channel, part of this community, part of a family, I would say. So I appreciate you guys so very, very much. All the warm wishes on all the posts that I got. Even JY Jackie drew this really cool artwork for me. Or he actually painted it, not drew it. Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. So I got a bunch of questions here. And first off, let me say that it's like 2,000 questions. So I appreciate you guys being interested in being part of the community, but I will answer as many as I possibly can. So with that said, let's hop straight into the questions. Question number 1, are you gonna have more special uncovering vids like the Spike's voice theory and who was responsible for Mortis's hat? I think so. I need a mystery first. So if there's a mystery out there that needs solving, let me know. What did you want to be before having a YouTube channel? Asked Salty. Well, as a child, I wanted to be a detective. I wanted to be a police officer, a detective. But right before I started a YouTube channel, I don't know if it's what I wanted to be, but what I was is I repaired copiers for a living. Really large, 5 foot tall, 30 foot long printers. That's what I did for a long time. Even when I first started YouTube, for first year and a half, 2 years, I was doing that full time and making videos. So that's what I did, and that's what I wanted to be from when I was a little kid. When you first started YouTube, how did you manage to grow and get people's eyes on your channel? Well, I didn't. That's how. It took me almost a year to get 1,000 subscribers, and that was making 3 to 5 videos every week. I was making Clash Royale videos. I still play Clash Royale pretty much every day. It took me a very long time to get anybody to watch my channel. And I would say that if you're starting a YouTube channel, be prepared for a very long time of just grinding and not really getting the attention that you think that you deserve, because it takes a long time to get good and get better and put out videos that people want to watch. Yeah, it takes a while, and you just gotta be in it for the long haul. When are we going to see Digit get rank 35 Mortis? Dude, where you been? He's got a rank 85 Mortis. Did you not see the video? Your child celebrity crush? When I was like in, I'd say 5th or 6th grade, somewhere around there, I definitely remember there were 2 ladies that I thought were just beautiful. I remember back in 6th grade, I had a poster of Mariah Carey. She was, oh dude, she was so beautiful to me. And then also Alyssa Milano, I thought was just so gorgeous. Why is Crow your favorite brawler? I think Crow is my favorite brawler, not only because he was the first legendary he got, but more so that he's basically just like BenTimm. He's got the speed, the versatility, the quickness, and the swag. So basically Crow is BenTimm, and I like playing as BenTimm. Would you create different content instead of Brawl Stars in the future? I don't know about instead of, because I love Brawl Stars and that's what my channel is. However, in addition to, probably. I'm really interested in Clash Mini and Clash Heroes, and if they're as good as I think that they could be, then perhaps we will be seeing still the same amount of Brawl Stars content, but also Clash Mini, Clash Heroes content. I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments below what you think. What app do you use for recording and editing your videos? I saw this question a lot, and first off, I don't think that the video editing programs and software are really that important. The idea and the execution are way more important than what gear you're using. That being said, I use DaVinci Resolve for editing, which they have a free version. It's really great, check it out. Adobe Photoshop for thumbnails, and for recording I use OBS Studio. I've been watching you since 150,000 subscribers. Congrats. First off, thank you very much for the long viewership. I appreciate you. What's your second favorite brawler, and what is your favorite and most comfortable brand of shoes? 2 very different questions. My second favorite brawler would probably be Brock. I just like him. I think he's a lot of fun to play. And my favorite and most comfortable brand of shoes would probably be Adidas Ultra Boosts. That's what I'm wearing right now. I just think they're really comfortable shoes. They're kind of expensive too. But when you get old like me, you need nice shoes or else your legs and your back start hurting, so Adidas Ultra Boosts. What's the biggest thing you had to give up or sacrifice in order to make Brawl Stars videos? I had to give up the most important currency that you can have in your life, and that is time. I worked a full-time job, 40 to 50 hours a week, as well as made probably another 30 hours of videos per week as well. And I did both of those, 80 to 90 hours worth of work every week for about 2 years, got hardly no sleep. The thing that I sacrificed was my time. Who inspired you to take up YouTube, and why did you choose this as your profession? The people that inspired me to start doing YouTube would probably be like Clash with Ash, Nick at Night, Molt, Chief Pat, those guys. I watched a lot of their Clash Royale videos. I was in a hotel room on a business trip in Orange County, California, and I was bored, and I was watching their videos, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can make a YouTube video, and so I just made one. And I enjoyed making the videos. Nobody watched them. Nobody watched those videos, but I made some and I really enjoyed them. So I just kept making videos because I enjoyed them. Why did you become a YouTuber? Is YouTube your only source of income? And have you ever promoted a sponsor which you would never promote if you were not paid? Why did I become a YouTuber? Just answer that question. Is YouTube my only source of income? I mean, like YouTube, creator code, sponsorships, all those kind of lumped together. But yes, that's my only form of income. And have I ever promoted a sponsor which I would have never promoted if I wasn't paid? Really, I've turned down lots and lots and lots of sponsors. Like, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars that I've said no to because I didn't think that it was a good game. In fact, whenever I get a sponsorship offer, the very first thing I do is go straight to the Play Store and download the game. I try it out. If I think that some people on my channel might like it or be interested in it, then sure, I'll do the sponsorship. But there's been plenty of games where I went down and tried them, and I downloaded them, fired them up, and I'm like, yo, this game sucks. If the game is pure crap, I'm not gonna put it in front of you guys. So even if it's not a game that I personally really enjoy myself, if I think some of you might, sure, I would take that sponsorship. But there are lots of games that I like that are not sponsored. Like here, let me promote one right now. A game called Mirandus. It's coming up on, it's actually made on, it's a blockchain game, which means like crypto. But it's like a big epic MMO RPG game that looks really awesome. They're not paying me to say this. They don't even really know me, I guess, but I think that their game looks really awesome. There's a link in the description. Go check it out if you want to. I'm not being paid to say this. I just think that the game looks awesome. So there you go. 40 with 3 questions. What's my favorite food? Seafood, fish, lobster, crab, any kind of seafood I really like. My favorite childhood show? Oh, dude. When I was like in 5th, 6th grade, I would love coming home every day and I'd watch DuckTales. I loved the cartoon DuckTales. It was so great. The best thing that ever happened to you? My kids. Absolutely 100% my kids. Do you ever get judged for being quite old to be playing games? I mean, yes. Absolutely 100%. The answer is yes. In fact, I mean, throughout my channel's history, I've probably gotten thousands, literally thousands of comments of like, dude, how old are you? Get a real job. You know, I mean, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get people who don't like you or are jealous of the position you're in, or maybe they just, you know, genuinely believe that. But I think that over time, people have grown accustomed to me and have accepted me for who I am, that I'm just like you. I may be older than you, but I'm just like you. I just like video games. And I don't think that there's any age limit on fun. You should do whatever makes you happy. Video games make me happy. Are you preparing an interview with a voice actor soon? Yes. As soon as Leon responds to me, when and where did you meet Kairos and OJ? Also, when and what was your first console? Was it Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox? Did you have one of them? And what was your first game and your favorite? Okay, lots of questions. When did I meet Kairos? We were on a group call with like Clash with Ash and some other creators talking about YouTube strategy stuff. And we just both kind of stayed on the lines. Like we both knew we kind of wanted to talk to each other and get to know each other more. And so we just stayed on the call and talked to each other for a long time. And that was the first time I really met Kairos. And then OJ, I actually met him in Finland when we were filming the Brawl Stars global launch stream. And I remember I was like fanboying on OJ. I had like 10,000 subscribers then. And OJ had like over 1 million, and he was just like, he was genuinely interested in getting to know me, and it was actually really awesome. And obviously since then we've become good friends. My first console was actually not a Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox, although I've had all of those, but it was an Atari was my first ever console. I remember I played this fishing game that my mom broke the Atari because she couldn't beat me at it. Yeah, I remember Mom. My favorite game as a child was probably the original Legend of Zelda. I played that game so much. Great game. Which anime do you like? It can be your childhood or now, except Naruto or Naruto Shippuden. Why can't I say Naruto? That is probably one of my favorite ones. But okay, aside from Naruto, probably Death Note. I really like that one. Death Note's a really good anime. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. What is your wife's name? My wife's name is Kim. Here's the picture of her. Ping! She doesn't like to be on camera. That's why you guys don't ever like see her in videos, because she doesn't feel comfortable. What sports did you do in high school? And what was your favorite class? And who was your favorite NFL team? 3 questions. Okay, Skittles, I got you. What sports did I play in high school? I was on the varsity football team and baseball team, and I played baseball up through college. What was my favorite class in school? Was probably science. I've always been very interested in how things work and understanding things, so science was my favorite class. And my favorite NFL team is actually the Patriots because my uncle played for them back in the 80s. And so when I was like in 3rd or 4th grade, I became a big fan of the Patriots, and they sucked then. And then they were really good for a long time, and now Tom Brady's gone. Ooh, rapid fire from a Mitt. Okay, favorite legendary brawler, Crow. Siege or Hot Zone? Neither? Solo or duo showdowns? Duos. Gym grabber, brawl ball. Brawl ball. Robo rumble or boss fight? Boss fight. Which long range brawler are you the best with? I would probably say Brock. I feel like he's easier to play than like Piper or Bell. Or maybe it's just I'm better with him, or maybe it's just because I like him more. Maybe I'm not better at all with him. I just suck, but I enjoy him. I don't know. Brock. How much time do you spend in your studio every day? Probably 9 to 10 hours per day. So I get here pretty early and I leave like, I try to get home by like 6 o'clock or a little bit after. So probably about 9 to 10 hours per day, 7 days a week. It's Sunday. I'm here. Brawlicious says, grow a beard. We want to see you in a beard. Also adding Kairos to this would be more fun. I don't know if Kairos could grow a beard. Me, this is like 3 days and I haven't shaved. I'm already like, my facial hair grows really quick and I don't like it. How do you come up with your video ideas? It's impressive the amount of unique ideas you come up with, yada yada. All right, I feel uncomfortable reading all the praise, but thank you very much, JK. I appreciate you. How do I come up with new video ideas? That's actually the hardest part of my job. Honestly, it's the part that I struggle with the most, only because, I mean, I could come up with a video idea every day, but I feel like I want to make videos that, if they're not completely unique, which it's very hard to be totally unique, I want to make them different enough so that it's not just like recycled content that a lot of other people have done. I try to come up with ideas on my own, and that's probably the toughest part of my job. And I actually need to have another round of thinking up a bunch of ideas. So if you guys got any good ideas, help me, help a brother out. Put some comments down below with some good video ideas. How important is the creator code system in providing income to yourself and your family? Dominic, it's actually, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me personally, it's very important. I make enough money off of YouTube ad revenue and sponsorships that I can pay all the bills, and my family's taken care of from that. But anything above and beyond that, that's where like creator code money really does help out me and my family a ton. I've told you guys before how I've used creator code money to buy my family a new washer and dryer when we really needed some, or some new furniture when our old couches were like broken down and stuff coming out of the cushions. You guys using code Lex, you provided that for me and my family, so I appreciate you guys so very, very much. Have you ever gotten recognized while going out on a normal day? So my normal day consists of staying at home, going to the studio, going back home, and then the next day going to the studio, going back home. I don't go out very much. I don't get out much, and so there's very little opportunity for me to get recognized, but I have been recognized a couple times. Like at a store, I remember one time I was getting a drink at a 7-Eleven. I come out and a guy was like, hey, are you Lex? And I'm like, yeah, and his mom was with him, and they're like, can we take a picture, with you? And I'm like, sure, yeah. And so I took a picture with them. So it has happened, but it doesn't happen very often, mainly because I don't get out very much. How old are your kids? So Tilly is the youngest child and she's 6. My oldest daughter is 18. Her name's Faith. So from the youngest to the oldest, it goes Tilly and then Harper, then Riley, Felicity, Sawyer, Kristana, and then Faith. Why do you support OKC? So he's probably talking about I have a hat that's an Oklahoma City hat, and that's because I live in Oklahoma City. So I've actually, back when I did my old job, I used to work on the Oklahoma City Thunder's, machines, and so I've actually met some of the players while I was working on their machines, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, I support Oklahoma City. What's your real name and how old are you? And will you show your wife on your channel? My real name is John. How old am I? I am 40 something. Will you show your wife on the channel? I just showed her. Boom, there she is again. But no, she's not going to be on the channel. She's not comfortable being on video. So I appreciate what you do. Well, Benjamin, I appreciate you being here on the channel. Does Code Lex benefit off purchases only for gem packs and offers now, rather for than gems spent? So yes, they did change it. So if you want to support somebody by using their creator code, which I absolutely, suggest that you do, because it doesn't cost you anything extra, only takes you like 10 seconds, and you really do make an impact on somebody's life. You would do that now by inputting the code before you buy anything, either special offers or straight up buying gems. Be sure to put in somebody's code before you buy anything. That that way that person gets your support, and you're actually helping them and their family and their 7 kids. Oh, what? That's only me? Thanks for using code Lex. If you had a pet robot, what would you name it? So little do you know, Lord Kapew Pew. Kapew Pew. I do have a pet robot, or more like a robot servant. I have a Roomba, which is like, the little robots that vacuum your floors. I actually bought that for the wife, and we named it, and her name is Sprocket. We actually wanted to just name him Sprocket, but then I guess like in the software, it was a girl name or voice, so we just named it Sprocket. Why did you think of taking the name Lex? Lex Luthor, or is there another reason? So, you've been asking for 8 months? Bro, I've answered this question before. Old Q&As, but I'll answer it again real quick. Yes, it is based on Lex Luthor. So I used to build guitars professionally, and someone who builds guitars or any stringed instruments is known as a luthier. And so I used to use the in-game name Lex Luthier, just kind of as a play on words. And so when I started the channel, I didn't want that long of a name, so I just shortened it just to Lex. And that's how I got the name Lex. Who is the tallest in Tribe Gaming? So I'm about 6 foot tall, and Kairos is right about the same height as I am, which is still pretty tall. However, like Chief Pat, Nick at Night, and Molt, those dudes are like really tall. Like I bet you Nick at Night's probably 6'4" to 6'6", somewhere in that neighborhood. He's really tall. So is Molt, and Chief Pat I bet you is like 6'4" or so. I don't know how tall they all are exactly, but I know that they tower over me and Kairos. Why did you become more interested in posting on YouTube than on other social media apps? I just thought of YouTube. I don't know, but I do have a TikTok channel that I'm actually starting to post quite a bit on. You guys go check me out over on TikTok. I post quite a few videos there, like 5 videos a week on TikTok. Go check it out. Chris asks, have you ever felt depressed? I hope not, because you're a legend. A, you're a legend. B, of course I felt depressed. I think everybody has felt depressed and down, about themselves or life in general. So yeah, sure, I felt depressed, but I've never had like issues with like depression or, that sort of feelings. And I feel bad, and I can empathize with, the people who do struggle with that, but that's never been me. But I felt bad at times in my life that, that weren't good, sure. All right, so the last question comes from Buttercup, which first off, I'd like to say, Buttercup, shout out to you. I know Buttercup in real life. She's a great person, really nice, and I appreciate all that you've done for me, the Bandits, and, the whole Brawl Stars community in general. You're awesome. So she asks, if you could go back in time and give one piece of advice to yourself when you were younger, like junior high or high school, what would it be? So let me tell you a quick story, and this story will go right into the type of advice I would give myself back in that timeline. So you guys know that growing up, I was very poor. If you've watched any of my previous Q&As, my parents divorced when I was really young, and we grew up extremely poor. And I remember when I was in 6th grade, like the new thing that came out that everybody had that I really wanted were Jordans, the shoes, right? Everybody, or it seemed like everybody at school had like the really cool Jordans, and you weren't cool unless you had a pair of Jordans. So we couldn't afford a $100 pair of shoes because that's a lot of money for a pair of shoes, but I didn't really understand, money and what it took to get that back when I was in the 5th or 6th grade. All I knew was that my friends had the Jordans and I wanted some. So I usually got a new pair of shoes about once per year, and so it came up time for me to get my new pair of shoes. And so my mom took me to Payless Shoe Store, which was like the budget. You could get the cheap shoes there, right? And I remember they had a pair of shoes there that cost $10, and they were like knockoff Jordans. They were actually called Pro Wings. They weren't Jordans, but they kind of had the same look to them, and so my mom was able to get me those, and so I got me a pair of Pro Wings. And I remember going to school, and I was walking to school the day that I just got my brand new kicks, and I was feeling good about myself. And when I got to school, it did not take long for that feeling to go away extremely fast, because middle school kids are mean. I got made fun of relentlessly. People made fun of me because I had imitation Jordans, and I was the poor kid, and I was stupid because I didn't have the right shoes, and they didn't think that I was cool, and that hurts, and nobody likes being made fun of. And I couldn't help it that we were poor, and I didn't even really fully understand how poor we were, but there I was being relentlessly made fun of because I didn't have the cool shoes, and I was trying to be like I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool. I wanted people to like me. So what I would go back and tell myself in that time, and I think this is something that a lot of people really struggle with, and that is that stop caring what other people think of you. Especially in this day and age where The whole culture is very much like an online affirmation economy where you get your self-worth by how many likes that you get on an Instagram post or how many views you got on a YouTube video. And when you do that, you're basically living your life inside someone else's head. And by doing that, it makes you judge yourself way more harshly than you would have in other ways. Because inevitably, all it does is make you feel inadequate and not pretty enough, or not likable, or not smart enough, or not cool enough. And somebody else's opinion of you doesn't change who you are. Put it this way, you could put me in a room with 100 people and I could talk to them for an hour. And at the end of that hour, some of those people would like me, some of them would dislike me, some of them would remember me, some of them would find me annoying, some might think I'm handsome, some might think I'm fat and ugly, but you know what? They all got the same me. They may walk out of there with 20 different ideas of who I am, but they all got the same me. And so your value as a person is not based upon somebody else's opinion of you. So you shouldn't worry about it, because your value as a person, your value as a unique individual is infinite. It doesn't matter if you live in China or the US, or if you live in South America or Finland, and if you're black or white, or you're short or tall, you're a boy or a girl, you're fat or you're skinny, it doesn't matter. Your value is infinite as a person. And you shouldn't let anybody else's ideas of what they think that you should be color your own self-worth. The two have nothing to do with each other. So the quicker you realize this and you start living your life and being who you are, not based upon what other people think of you, the happier life you're going to have. Now, I know that's very easy to say. It's very easy to say, and it's a lot harder to put into practice, but stop caring what other people think of you. And I'm not talking about your actions, because actions can be, very categoric, in a sense that this is good action, this is a bad action. Punching that random dude in the face, bad action. Being nice to somebody, good action. We're not talking about actions here. We're talking about your innate qualities and you as a person. And everybody's at a different place in their life. There's always somebody better off and worse off than you. So that's what I would tell myself. Stop caring what other people think of you. Be you and realize that your value is infinite, you as a person. So anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A. I appreciate you guys so far beyond what you can even possibly imagine. You guys have made an indelible difference in me and my family's life, and I appreciate you far more than I could ever express. So thank you very much. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. How about doing a video where you say yes to Tilly for 24 hours, but not Brawl Stars, more like in real life? So I actually did this the other day, not for a video, but I come home and Tilly's like, Dad. Oh, she was like, Dad. Did that sound like Tilly? I don't know. She was like, Dad, you have to say yes to everything that I tell you. I'm like, oh, I do. She's like, yes, you have to say yes. I'm like, okay. She's like, can I have a soda? And I'm like, yes. She's like, ooh, and I think she realized at that point that she had the control. And so after me being her little slave for about 15 minutes, it ended up me and her just sitting there watching Amphibia on Disney Plus for like a couple hours, because she's like, you have to watch whatever I tell you. And I'm like, yes. And so we watched Amphibia for a while. It's actually a pretty funny TV show. I like it. It's pretty good.